Hey friends, so we have finally come to the end of The Idol. I can't believe it's been 5 weeks since The Weeknd ruined the mystique he had crafted for himself.
And he's been manifesting this for
What are you
forever.
Chloe?
But anyways, I'm here to review the final episode and to explain any questions you might have had. So let's get into it. The episode begins with Jocelyn fully giving Tedros the cold shoulder. She knows that Tedros had calculated their meetup and she's done with him. She then gets a call from Finkelstein that he's coming over to discuss whether the tour is happening or not, and this is a make it or break it meeting because she's going to show him all the new songs she's been producing since throwing out her old music and music video. She informs her squatters that she wants Isaac, Chloe, and Ramsey to be her opening act. She says that they have one shot to give the best show of their lives to convince the team that they are worth a tour. Tedros, who has been fully cast aside, makes his last-minute effort with Xander, telling him it's unfair that Jocelyn still doesn't consider him to be an opening act. Of course, this gets to him, and we know that Xander had staged those photos of Rob and the girl to frame Rob of sexual assault and effectively ruin his career. Leia gets a call from Rob, who tells her it was Xander who took the photos, and when she tries to confront Xander, Xander insinuates that this was Jocelyn's plan. At first, Finkelstein is put off with everybody comparing them to the Manson family. Even after hearing the talent of Isaac and Chloe, he still doesn't think that they're worth anything. It's not until everybody is convincing him that they are great and are capable of making money for them does he start to take interest. We then get a glimpse into the boneless and shameless negotiations that go on. We see Haim and Destiny calling dibs on these new artists, not wanting Nikki to have anything to do with them. Meanwhile, Nikki is trying to get Tedros on her side even though he literally insulted her to her face not just 5 minutes ago. And Finkelstein, who now believes in these kids just because everyone told him he should. When the news breaks out about Rob, Jocelyn sheds a tear and realizes it was a setup by Xander and Tedros. Xander takes the opportunity to show the team he can sing, which from the looks of it, Jocelyn definitely felt slighted by. But after realizing that she needs everybody on her side and off of Tedros's, she tells them that Xander will also be opening for her tour. She then tells Haim to use however much money he needs to get Tedros out. Now, this shot of her taking off her shoes, which looks like shackles, for me symbolized Jocelyn finally freeing herself of Tedros' grips. She then shows her song to Finkelstein, which was super cringe, as she sings Daddy and bounces around for him, and he says this.
Wish I brought a change of shorts. As a parent figure, I fucking couldn't be more proud of you. I'm gonna take a cold shower.
I think this whole scene just shows how exploitative the industry is and how no one really has your back or cares for you. Anyways, he tells the team that the tour is back on. Haim offers Tedros $50,000 to stay away from Jocelyn. Tedros says that what he is doing is essentially buying Jocelyn from him and that he's no different from a pimp. Tedros rips the check and asks Haim what he'll do now, and Haim says he will do Plan B, which I thought meant killing Tedros or something really big, but we find out later what he actually does. Leia leaves, probably after getting so disgusted at Joss's behavior and the idea that Joss would set up Rob as a rapist, and we see Diane gets her song taken back. Nikki says that they're all trying their best to make her a star, but it's obvious they won't. Before Diane is shown the door, she asks, was it because of Jocelyn? Of course, it wouldn't be an episode without a random shot of Jocelyn working out in a thong. We see how her life looks boring without Tedros. She even longingly looks at the hairbrush she said her mother abused her with and later Tedros abused her with. Haim then gets his plan B in action, which was a lot less thrilling than I thought it would be. It was just contacting that Vanity Fair reporter and revealing all of Tedros' secrets and sordid past. It then jumps to 6 weeks later. The team are all smiles as they talk about how they took Tedros down. Jocelyn is about to start her sold-out stadium tour, and as she's looking around the empty stadium, she texts Tedros to come meet her. He's then met by Destiny, who warns him that if he hurts Jocelyn, she will kill him. Now, why she would allow this in the first place, especially after seeing everything for herself in that house, I think just goes to show how morals go out the window when it comes to money, and I'll explain that a little bit more later. Tedros and Jocelyn make up, saying that she missed him, this doesn't mean anything without him, and that she doesn't want to be apart. Tedros walks over to her things and notices the hairbrush. He then asks her if this was the brush her mother abused her with, and then says it's brand new. Jocelyn looks back and gives him a smirk. Tedros then has this sinking feeling, a realization as we realize Jocelyn had made up the abuse the whole time. Jocelyn then gets on stage and introduces the world to Tedros as her love. Her whole production team are flabbergasted, and it ends off with her telling Tedros that he is hers forever and instructs him to stand to the side. Tedros watches in disbelief and horror, and it ends with Jocelyn's name being chanted. Okay, so what does all this mean and what was the point of the show? I think first and foremost, it was obvious that it was trying to show the seedy underbelly of the music industry as a whole, the exploitation of artists, and how the music industry is more manipulative and culty than a literal cult. We see this with Xander doing anything to get his shot, the way Haim and Destiny fight over who will be in charge of the kids, and on the side, Nikki trying to secure her spot. How no one actually sincerely cares for Jocelyn, just the money and what she can provide in turn, and how morals just go out the window in order to appease whoever is in power, whether it's Tedros, Finkelstein, or Jocelyn, and how the one person who did care for Jocelyn has virtually no voice because she holds no power over anyone. Tedros said it himself, what they are doing are essentially pimping out the artists for all that they are worth. Talent means nothing unless they can make money for everyone else. Secondly, power dynamic. We see in this episode, Jocelyn has effectively dethroned Tedros as the leader. She doesn't care that Xander betrayed her and ruined Rob's career. She merely sees him as a pawn in the game and seeks out his loyalty, securing her as the powerful one. The hairbrush scene is when Tedros realizes he was in way over his head. There was no way to outstick and outdo the music industry or even Jocelyn because Jocelyn had been playing with Tedros as well the whole time. I think it's safe to say that we can't believe everything Jocelyn has said in the past. I think it was her, not her mom, who outed Xander, who made Xander sign a contract that he couldn't sing, because this whole time, Jocelyn has known how to take control of the power and play the game. Tedros entered her life, tried to shake things up, tried to outsmart Jocelyn, and take over, and I think to Jocelyn, it was stimulating, like a game. And without Tedros, she's bored. I think the scene of her taking off her shackles wasn't actually to symbolize that she's free of Tedros, but that she's free of the music industry. Now that she is on top, she knows everybody is under her and she can do literally anything, including taking back Tedros, defying her management team and all the efforts to keep them apart because she knows that she's on top and making money, there's nothing she can't do. So what are my thoughts? I said in the last episode, I was finally getting into the show and that I was expecting something huge. And if nothing huge were to happen, I would consider this whole show a waste. I feel like everything about the show was lackluster and lukewarm, which is so disappointing with the way it was marketed. The revelation of Jocelyn being the most sick and twisted of them all was such a slow burn, but not really. It was more a slow, lukewarm touch. The satire of the ridiculousness of the industry should have been more funny and should have hit harder. Pacing of the whole series felt off. Again, I'm a broken record, but the first 3 episodes could have been mushed together as one episode. I feel like they brushed things off that are actually important and integral to the show and spent way too much time on overly gratuitous scenes. Some characters were just way too one-dimensional. I felt like it was wasted potential. There was something definitely there, but it got lost and caught up in trying too hard to be shocking, which gave off the exact opposite effect, making it, well, dull. Anyways, I want to know what you guys thought of the series finale and the show in general. Let me know down in the comments and please subscribe for more reviews. Let me know which shows or movies you'd like for me to discuss and I'll see you next week. Bye!